A meeting for City of Lovington Planning and Zoning Tuesday, March the 10th, 2020. You got roll call? Good? You got everybody? Good. Yeah. Approval of agenda. Take a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Thank you, Scott.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Betty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, consideration of minutes from February 11th, 2020. So everybody had a chance to review, and if so, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of February 11th, 2020 meeting as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there any public comment not having to do with the agenda item? Thank you. So as we get into this, so everybody knows, staff is going to give their presentation. Each of you will be given an opportunity to speak on it. When you do, if you would come to the podium, state your name and your address, and then talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay? Once we have taken public comment and we go to a vote, there'll be another session, there'll be another part of question, but that will not be a time to speak from the public. So I just want you guys to be aware. Do your best to get everything out now. Okay? Thanks. All right, with that, we'll take a motion to look at the action item for the replat of 500 block of East Central Avenue.
I'd like to make a motion that we look into the replat of the 500 block of East Central Avenue.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, take it away. Or whoever's in charge. Wyatt.
I drew the short straw today. Crystal was sick, so.
I'm 5'8". I draw the short straw every day.
Yeah. So, Chair Pettigrew and Commission, Plan and Zone Commission. Before you, we see the replat of the 500 block of East Central Avenue. Crystal did talk to me a little bit about this, and the replat is going to consist of the alleyway and the adjacent property behind Chavez Street. So, as you can see on the surveyed lot, the cleared property right behind, there is an 80-foot right-of-way for Chavez Street. The utilities and everything for the homeowners actually off of Commercial Street. The utilities are actually on the property owners right-of-way, or they're not in the right-of-way. They're actually over off to the side in the lot. So Crystal has put forward the staff summary to actually to replat the section, to leave the utilities where they're at. You can see the estimated cost as she has presented. It's going to be about a $65,000 to $70,000 to move all utilities in that alley, to put them actually in, and to put everything over on the homeowners also, to move their fence out of the way. And so to equalize everything, we're asking for a replat of it, to give up 30 foot of the right-of-way for Chavez Street, give that, I believe, just to move everything over in the replat, to utilize the utilities, to keep the utilities where they're at.
So with moving that, we're going to take 30 foot out of the right-of-way of South Chavez and give back to the lots on the west side, correct?
Yes.
So the east side gains a little, which is something they've always thought they've had anyway,
That's
and
right.
and the west series of lots don't lose any.
They
square
do not
foot.
lose anything. They keep the 30 foot that we're just moving over.
Perfect. Okay. And what is the intent of the city should this pass with respect to how the expense is covered?
It's on us.
It's on the city. Okay.
It's,
Perfect.
yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions for staff? This is the item we looked at last
Last
month.
week, and probably last month, yeah.
So it feels like last week.
We didn't know where all the lines were.
Yeah, now we do. We have a better idea, anyway.
So all the utility lines are in they're up next to the people on the east side. They're up next to their fence line, but they're not in their property, right? Or they are.
They're not in their property. There are some telephone poles, and after further discussion with Darren prior to the meeting, there's about 4 foot from the telephone poles heading west is the water line. About 8 feet from that, there's the sewer line, and 8 feet from that going west is the gas line. So from the fence line that is actually the backyard of the east properties, there are no utilities that are going to.
So part of this replatting is we're going to add 20 feet to those property owners, move that fence line all the way up. Is that also part of this replat, or is it just the survey, the lot that we're going to take away from Chavez?
So the answer to that question is yes. Property owners on the east side actually gain 20 linear feet east and west. What's interesting about that is every one of them already think it was theirs.
Yeah.
Just
That's
because of the
what
way
I
their
thought we
fences
talked about.
and everything is there. So they do gain 20 additional
Property.
east-west footage. So what that total is would be depending on the lot size, which I'm assuming is around 75 feet.
So I got turned around when I was looking at this, so yeah, I see. So then, and then we're gonna take that surveyed lot and we're gonna move it further west,
Give them 30 feet of Chavez Street
Chavez Street.
to take away where the utilities are currently in the property.
So as far as with the utilities, we're not gonna have to move the utilities at all?
That's why we're asking
Right.
for the replat.
Right, and as far as that replat, is that a good price for a replat?
Yes.
That expense is the architectural or the
No, it'd be a PS, professional survey.
professional survey?
Betty, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Scott?
No, sir.
Thank you, Wyatt. All right. Any of the people here like to speak on this? Come on up, one at a time, please.
Yes, my name is Rigoberto. Myself and Silvia Cabello, my wife, we own on the west side of the East 19 block. We own I believe, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 lots. The last 4, we own those. So my question is, if you guys are gonna move this 30 feet to the west, right, close to Chavez Street, are we supposed to go through the Chavez Street to have access to our properties, or we allowed to go through the alley? Because is there, are you gonna have to let us go through the alley to have access to our property? Otherwise, are you guys gonna fix the Chavez Street to go through
How do you currently access it?
Through the alley?
Through the alley?
Yeah, because
Okay.
the Chavez is uneven, it's pretty,
Yeah.
the water gets stuck in there all the time, so.
It gets very cluttered whenever it rains,
Mhm.
and it's a mess. If we go through there,
You're gonna have to fix the Chavez Street for us.
and it's,
Well, they're gonna take out a lot of Chavez Street. There won't be enough to make a street.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we ever had to expand that, yeah, he can still get that in.
They'll still be able to access the back of their property through that alleyway. Yeah, the person's lot that says surveyed lot,
Mhm.
if I understand it correctly, so make sure I understand it correctly, we're moving their property lines to your left-hand side.
Right.
And so that'll so they'll be able to put their home on that property, and you'll still have access through the alley.
through the alley.
Through the alley,
That's good.
Okay.
yeah.
But
So
it's
that
some-
it won't affect, you don't have to worry about mudding through Chavez Street.
That's one.
Okay.
You can still use your alleyway.
That's
If
good.
somebody from the city showed up, hey, you're not allowed to come through the alley in and out all the time
Yeah,
with your vehicle,
That-
what's
that-
gonna happen to Chavez?
that's what we're trying to correct.
Hold on. Jim?
So, the issue is, if you see that picture on the right, where the
Mhm.
alley's actually at,
Yes.
Yes.
that's not that's not supposed, wasn't ever supposed to be an alley. That was years and years ago, somebody just made it an alley. So where the alley is where the folks on the east side of that, that's where their property is. Well, the utilities are installed there, so what we're doing is that dirt track, that will now be, once it's approved by the city commission, for the replat and vacations, that will actually be the alley. Now, if a house is ever put in there, you can't use that, you cannot use the alley to access the house on this undeveloped portion here. Chavez Street would have to be developed.
That's right.
That's in the 5-year plan, but it's a long ways out. I can't even say it's gonna be 5 years, it may be even longer. But because that area had never been developed before, so it's potentially in the future. But would you be able to use the alley to access your property now, as it is, as it sits? Yes, you could.
Okay, no, the longer you guys let it use, access through the alley, we should be okay. But if somebody from the city showed up and, hey, you're not allowed to come and in through the alley, you gotta use the street, that's our concern about.
What about the fences of the people, because my dad's house is, 1.10 South Commercial, and he's been there for 40 years, 50 years.
And that's why we're replanning, we're gonna leave the fence line.
Okay.
They're gonna be gaining 20 feet extra to what they've had for years and what thought is their property. That's why the replat is going. They're gonna keep what they have, and we're just moving the alleyway where the dirt road is. Because currently, right now, as you can see, the fence is here, but the alley is actually, it's actually supposed to be back here where their fence line is. So we're gonna replat and just move over, so we're not gonna.
They don't have to move their fences
No,
or
everyone
anything
on
like
Yeah.
that?
commercial is gonna stay the same.
Okay.
If we actually went out there and surveyed everything the way it's supposed to be right now, everybody's fence that fronts commercial would be 20 foot in the wrong place. And they would all have to move, and the city utilities would have to move. And that's the reason why the city has come up with this idea.
Yeah, we bought those, for, lots, quite a while back, and we did a survey on it, and we noticed all that, and we just didn't wanna say anything because I grew up in that area, you know, and my dad has been there forever and ever, and he's gonna stay there, so that's why we didn't say anything about it. Just wanna keep it like that, and not bother anybody. But now that the other guy bought the other, lot, that's whenever he found out how it was.
Yeah.
But I just wanted us to have access to the alley, because my dad, he uses that alley every day. And he was worried about it. He's been there forever and ever, so we just wanna leave it like that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the reason for the replat.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So we're gonna get 30 feet on the Chavez
Yes,
area?
as listed on, it's an 80-foot right-of-way, and we're gonna take the 30-foot dedicated as the alley, but we're gonna move the property line 30 foot over off the Chavez. So you won't be losing the 30 feet, we're just
we're gonna
shifting
move
it
it.
to the other side.
Yeah. That's good.
If we decided to set up whatever a house or whatever, are we supposed to set up close to the alley or close to the street to Chavez?
You would need to talk with Crystal Ball about that. She can give you the details.
Hold on, pardon me, guys. Hey, if you guys wanna chat, you're welcome to step out, but. What?
They're translating.
Okay.
But yeah, you would need to speak with Crystal Ball about that, and she can give you the information on what's called a setback, as far as how close you can be to property lines, adjacent property and stuff. So that would, you would just need to contact her. Her office is here, she's unfortunately out sick
Okay.
today, so.
That's why we were kind of concerned. We're gonna move it close to the alley, or close to Chavez, but we don't wanna be able to come to Chavez because
Right.
you know how the problem is with the water standing there. Yeah,
In future development, we do
Right.
plan,
to
like,
fix it up. Okay,
yes, sir.
all right, that's all I have to say. My part.
Pardon me, if you need to go ahead and translate, go for it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't hear what he was
My
saying.
dad was asking over, talking about this kind of, trying to explain to him. worried about it.
I understand.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Concepcion Acosta, and I live on, actually my mom does now, in 106 South Commercial, which will be the second lot from Central.
Okay.
The first one is people that moved there about a year ago, 2 years ago, and even then, their property is divided in two sections, with the section that actually borders the alley used to belong to my grandfather, and the one in the front too. But after he died, the front part was sold for different people and so forth. The one in the back, nobody knew it was my grandfather's until it came up on an auction and somebody else bought it, and I have no idea who the owner is. So that would affect, well, he should have been here, whoever it is that owns that property. Now, my question is, the replatting is not going to affect the alley at all. So everything will stay as it is for us. Okay. Now, the company or that particular lot out there, is that a new company or is that they used to own it all the time? There used to be a building there long time ago. See, I've been in my house, that's been our house for almost 60 plus years. And I remember there was a building there that got tore down. And so I don't know whether, I'm asking, is there a particular company that's got it now, or is it the same company that used to own it?
If I may.
Yes, please.
An individual just bought that property, and that's how this was discovered through the title report, what they call an improvement location report. That's how this actually got brought up. Somebody just bought those lots there, and it is my belief, if I recall correctly, they are actually moving their house there.
Okay. Now, by replatting, will that prevent them at a future time from claiming that alleyway?
No, sir, it's actually the alley. This is dedicated to the public use. They will not be able to claim that alley as their own.
So the replatting really is not really hurting us at all. I mean, the alley's going to stay there.
No, sir. It will not have any effect.
Okay.
Once it's replatted, the alleyway will be dedicated to the city. And so that stays a utility corridor
Okay.
and an
Okay.
access to the back of the properties.
Okay. We didn't know whether the new owners were going to build a fence all the way on this side and so forth. That was our main concern, and his concern of it being blocked for his vehicle to move out. Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Anyone else? Jalen, will you ask in Spanish if anybody else would like to talk? Nope. Quito? Sorry, that was, I need to go to sensitivity training.
I can ask them. I can
Yes,
ask
would you please?
Dice que si tiene alguna pregunta que le parece, ustedes me alcanzan a decir algo, que después ya no vamos a poder decir. ¿Sí se puede hacer?
You want her to translate?
That
I
would,
can do it for him.
that would be
Okay.
great.
About the place, the two lots. So we find out that that the alley was on his side. So he's asking if he's gonna get his, the rest on Chavez Street. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer to that is yes.
We're, the 30 foot that we're giving in the alley, we're just moving it to the west.
All right.
So you can see, if this is the lot that we're gonna give him 30 more feet.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any,
Any more?
anybody else? Thank you. Okay, we're closed for comments. Take a recommendation. as somebody puts this together, I would suggest that we add as part of the motion that until Chavez Street is developed, and A Street or just Chavez Street is developed, that it be part of the dedication that the alley access is provided. Would that, in other words, typically people get frowned on for trying to drive in and out of the alleys
I
all day.
wouldn't feel comfortable with that because I don't want somebody to misconstrue that they can build a house and use that as their primary means of access.
Okay,
Should we just go with staff recommendation?
Just go, I would recommend going with staff recommendation.
you got it.
I'd like to make a motion that we go with staff recommendation to proceed to the city commission with the request to replat the entire block 19 of East Edition.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Is there any further discussion? If not, take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Okay, so the motion passed to go with a replat. The next step for that is to go to city commission. The city commission actually has to approve this. James, when will that be?
March 23rd, I believe.
On March 23rd. So if you want to talk again on March 23rd, you're welcome to come and do that. But the city commission ultimately makes the vote on how this moves forward. Okay? And yes, sir.
I have a question. Are the new owners aware of what you're fixing to do?
Yes, they're the ones that spoke last.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. And so, would you do me a favor? Actually, will you tell your dad?
Sure.
Yeah, him and your father-in-law? Yeah, the guy that was with the last one that spoke. Okay. Motion to adjourn?